Go ahead. NBA takes you have got off your mind. Boom. What you got for me?
I like it. So first of all, we talked about this earlier in the year, and in order, let me tell you this. And granted, before I get too excited, or anybody gets too excited in general, let's be clear about that. There's still what 60 something games,
67 games left in the season.
65 because math. Specific to the Orlando Magic, there's 65 games before the end of the season. They didn't get to 12 games last year until mid to late December. They currently are 12-5, including victories over the LA Lakers, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the one I saw in person this time last week, the defending champion, Denver Nuggets. Earnestly.
Wait. You forgot one more team in that list, the elite team, the Celtics.
Oh yeah, and they beat the Celtics the next day.
This past Saturday.
You're right. The next game they won was the Celtics. You're completely correct, sir. Yes, thank you. I should include that. Now, a fine argument is that a lot of teams at this time of year are still kind of getting things figured out. You know, you're more likely to get load management, et cetera, et cetera. But how impressed are you by the Orlando Magic?
I'm surprised they're this good. I told everybody before you started they'll be a play-in team. I told you last year they had moments where they were beating the Bucks. These same teams you mentioned they were beating last year too during the year, but then they'll lose against the bad teams for some weird reason. And I said this team
they dropped one in Chicago that I thought was a little silly.
Well, again, this is the NBA. The NBA is a weird sport.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they're this good. Again, the challenge here for them is sustainability, because Orlando actually through the last 7-8 years have had a habit of starting the year off well, 6-2, 7-2, you know, these kind of starts, and then they'll tail off in December and the season goes to shit.
Well, and right, Fultz will get hurt, Isaac will get hurt, and it goes to hell. And
right.
Markelle Fultz has already missed significant time. Jonathan Isaac is staying relatively healthy, but you know, seeing Anthony Black get in there and he's tougher than I thought he'd be. I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
How seriously can I still take your Miami Heat? Are you buffering or are you thinking really? EJ Christian?
Well, if this thing's not buffering for a second, Miami's issue is going to be just staying healthy to the playoffs. That's going to be their issue. It's all about they're at a point now where they don't necessarily prioritize regular season. They just stay healthy, stay the course, and then they get to the playoffs. Then they go for broke. What I will say with the Heat, Bam taking another leap this year. Tyler Hero prior to getting hurt.
Bam took another leap in the finals, performing the way he did against Joe.
Right,
Let's
correct.
Be about that.
Yes, you call that, yes.
No, I didn't call that. He made me look like a fool. I thought he would be neutralized. I started blaring from the cheap seats and acknowledge it. Listen, he was my tribal chief during the NBA Finals.
Yeah,
acknowledge him. Okay,
you're also seeing why the Heat didn't necessarily pull the trigger on the Dame Lillard deal, and then not pull the trigger. Also, like add more young pieces to the pie to entice the deal, because those young players that they drafted, Hawkwez is right now the third best rookie in the league right now, behind Wemby and Chet Holmgren, who right now are 1 and 2 clear-cut rookie of the year candidates. And again, Spoelstra, one day Heat fans will learn to trust in Eric Spoelstra.
Spo will be a Hall of Famer. We've had that conversation.
Right. So it's about staying healthy. I think they'll be in the mix when all said and done, because they've been doing this for 5 years now with this core, and it's worked. They got to 2 finals, and we're 17 seconds from another finals appearance 2 years ago. So stay the course to be fine.
Okay. Well, and I'll say this too. When you say stay healthy, I specifically for the Magic meant at the time Markelle Fultz. You specifically mean Tyler Hero. Let's call that what it is too.
Yes, but it was funny. Hero got hurt in the playoffs last year. They still didn't need him. Went to the finals. They could have used him in the finals, but let's not. I don't think his injury would have impacted the result of the finals. Honestly,
they had some things go their way. Like, it's not every series where freaking Giannis is going to get hurt. For example.
Well, the Milwaukee series definitely got a break on.
And I feel like they faced the Knicks, which what was that?
No, and the next series, Jimmy got hurt. He missed one game actually in that series, Jimmy.
No. But what I'm saying is they played the Knicks instead of a different squad who I think they would have had a tougher time with.
The Cavs?
Yeah, I think they would have had a tougher time with the Cavs.
Probably.
So they had that go their direction. Then the historical collapse of the Boston Celtics. Like, too many things went the Heat's way for me to feel comfortable with them and going, meh, stay healthy. I'm not gonna say they aren't a factor, because as long as Hemi Butler is a thing and doing well, it's all good.
Let me be clear. I'm still taking Boston and Milwaukee over Miami right now. Let's be clear about that.
Well,
I'm going to say Miami.
Even though according to you their season's over, the Sixers I think are a bigger threat than the Heat right now.
I will say yes, as long as Embiid is healthy and long. They need one more piece. They need one more, not even a star, just another solid B+ player on that team to really feel like, okay, now we can go. And they have the assets to do it, for the record. They do.
Okay. And I can't front on that. By the way, I love the timing on us going over this just as the college football season ends, and you can start to transition into the Christmas push by the NBA. But, there you go.
Anything else?
With that in mind, did you have the Minnesota Timberwolves at number 1?
No.
I'll say I didn't. That wasn't on the damn bingo card.
Fuck no. And the thing is, they may sustain this because their defense is really good. They got guys back. Jalen McDaniels is back now. Rudy Gobert, one of the best. I give Rudy Gobert shit because he's a minus on offense, but on defense he's a fantastic interior player. He defends really well there. But my issue with the Wolves coming in here was the fact that Edwards, Cat, Anthony Towns pairing going to work out, because it is clearly Ant's team at this point now. It's his team. Right. So far, so good. I want to see this in January, February before I really start to feel like this team's a real contender, if you will.
And I got to watch Karl Anthony Towns play in person. I think he's an excellent player.
He is.
I'll put it this way. Him and Gobert on the floor at the same time is a fascinating dynamic to me. Granted, listen, at the end of the day, I think with that group, you mentioned their defense in the NBA now, when I analyze teams, and I've been told that it may not be the perfect way to do it. I'm still kind of developing it, but the first things I look at are 3-point percentage and where they rank in points allowed. Mm-hmm. This team among the NBA in defenses, you mentioned them being the force. So they may have to shoot less well, but they still, like, I know the Magic, for example, would kill to have their shooting numbers. That's what I'll say. Of
course. Anything else we got here?
Let me jump to this too. I'm not doing anything ridiculous like saying end the season now, but do you believe in the Suns? Because I sure don't. For my money, even though they're third right now, I still think the Denver Nuggets are the favorite out of the West. It's just the rest of these West teams don't impress me. Prove me wrong.
No. You're right there. I'll go for a step further with that one. I think the Nuggets are the favorites of the NBA. I think right now the favorites to repeat as champions. I'll take them right now. I'll take them over Milwaukee and Boston right now. Right now. We'll see how things play out, injuries, all that stuff. Denver last night plays out Jokic, plays out Murray, who's still hurt. He's going to be back soon, though. And I know the Clippers aren't playing well.
Murray not being present last week against the Magic was a huge part of that. Let me acknowledge that.
He's been off a month now, and it's still holding the fort down. And they beat the Clippers on the road last night. A Clippers team that's still at full strength with Wes Harden and Westbrook and Kawhi and Paul George, and they still win in LA without Murray and Jokic. That team, and Aaron Gordon didn't play last night too, for the record. People forget that. This team is just, look, Phoenix wise. Look, KD right now is my MVP, maybe my MVP leader right now. To be honest with you, because he's been with Beal being out most of the year so far, only played 3 games. With Booker in on the lineup, Phoenix is one of the hottest teams in the league right now. 6 or 7 in a row right now as of recording. KD has been fucking balling right now. But we're talking big picture. big picture, look, they got to get to the conference finals this year, and you have Denver as slot as one of the teams there. Okay, I think it's wide open beyond that because I think the Warriors are done. I think Minnesota the Warriors are done. I think the Warriors title window's closed right now.
Even though we can have the conversation about how Draymond isn't all that in a bag of chips, but for the Warriors, the moment he's not on the floor,
he ain't the reason why. Klay Thompson's playing shit this year. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't mean to say he's not the only reason. I think he's the top reason.
Yeah.
But then you compare it with, Klay not delivering yet and all the list of factors.
They got lots of issues. Wiggins had a bad year this year too. So
yeah,
the West is kind of open. Like, yes, Minnesota, good start. OKC, great start.
The semifinalist is open. We'll put it that way.
Right. But there is right now no clear-cut second team that I feel like is challenging Denver when it's all said and done. See me in January, February for more clear picture. Phoenix would like. Phoenix is supposed to be the likely team to be in that spot, and they probably are. But right now, the Bradley Beal injury now, he's been out. I mean, the Heat don't in that one, to be honest with you. And then Booker being in our lineup, we'll see. So, I'll say Phoenix is still the number 2 team in the West on optics, based on just what I trust Durant. But
who do you trust?
Hubba. We need to see more with Phoenix though before I can lock them in. But right now, to me, what's clear is Denver is the heavy favorite in the Western Conference, and to me, the favorite to win the whole thing this year.
Am I wrong to be completely surprised that the Thunder are 2 OKC? Because I looked through their roster, and this is one of the teams like I got to study them more because nobody's coming off the page for me.
They are fun to watch, my friend. SGA is an MVP candidate right now. SGA, remember I said this take a couple weeks ago. Everybody laughed at me. Oh, top 5 player, dude. He's ready. He's ready in the top 10 right now. At this point, ESPN had number 8 coming to the year. I had number 11 on my list. It is not foolish to see this guy, at the very least, flirt with a top 5 status next year if this team wins the playoff series also this year, combined with the winning they're doing right now currently.
How much of it is Chet Holmgren doing his thing though? Is that a large part?
That's a large part of it. Chet Holmgren right now might be rookie of the year. Might. Him and Wemby are now neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean to compete with Wemby says plenty already. Let me go back to the match.
Yeah, Chet's impact is impacting winning right now on this team more than anything else. Wemby is still on a worse team right now currently, but
Yeah. Okay, I can get behind that.
Give me 2 more and we get out of here because I got to go.
Well, I'll like you mentioned the MVP race and such. Let me close with just this question too, because I feel like I hear already a lot of stirring within Orlando and the Magic community of Paolo as an MVP candidate. I think he shares too much credit for their success with Franz Wagner to pull that off. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all. I think Paulo is definitely. I wouldn't put him in my top 10 MVP candidates though. Right now, it's not a knock on him. It's just how. Look,
wouldn't.
I would not right now, and that's not a knock.
And that's pointless. Like
that's not even. It's not even a knock on him. That's more credit on the list of talent of amount of talent in the league right now.
It sounds like you're giving Jamal Mosley the credit then.
I think that team as a whole is just playing together right now. But Paulo is the main reason he's the best player. Obviously, we go there, but I think there's way too much talent in this league right now that there's way too much players standing out now. Luka standing out again, Durant, Embiid, Jokic, all those guys,
I don't see how you don't include Jokic in your top 5. And like
he's top 5, he's number 2.
Okay, perfect.
2,
so and with that in mind, I'll say this too. Like I asked Paulo post game about seeing Jokic come down the court at point center, how your mentality changes when he's running the ball down, when he's playing point center. Essentially, it still feels weird to say.
Yeah.
And he says we have to make sure he'll be everywhere. Give him his 2, he'll probably get his. We just got to make sure he doesn't dish to get somebody with a 3 on that team, which isn't that a hell of a note. A center is bringing down the ball with as a point center, as I like to call it. But then the biggest threat is him with chucking it to somebody for a 3 ball. That's crazy to me.
It's amazing. And he's so good at it too. So good at it. So
Earnestly
anyway.
Christian. Wait, how do we do this?
No. Good job. SOTG report, of course. Plug away, Kyle.
Honor, joy, and privilege. Thanks for coming aboard here, whether you're listening on the Earnestly Speaking podcast or during the slotted student of the game time, because I am currently at a Magic game. If you're listening to this there, it's always an honor, joy, and privilege. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the student of the game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram and Threads as the same, the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the student of the game. Check out my writings with the Jaguar Report. Also, check out my work with the 3-point conversion, doing post-game interviews from Everbank Stadium when the Jags are at home, which they will be on Monday. So you'll see that stuff pop up there on the 3-point conversion YouTube channel. Also, my work as a media caster with Pro Sports Fans on the Pro Sports Fans app during Jaguar away games. Look for me and, of course, Big Cat Country's Travis Holmes to do a watch along with you. That's just as much fun as anything Eli and Peyton Manning do. I'm just saying, Ernest Christian, there's some silliness.
I would love to watch along soon.
Then with that in mind, you can also check me out with the Black and Gold Banneret covering the UCF Knights. I covered their final regular season game. I'll be doing more women's and men's basketball with them coming up. Also, we're still waiting to find out, we probably will next week, where the Jags are going, the Knights are going bowling for the 8th straight year while the Gators are sitting at home. Let's see, there's that. Of course, Student Game Podcast at 8:40 p.m. Eastern. What am I forgetting, Ernest GJ?
Huddle Up Podcast tonight.
Oh, Huddle Up Podcast obviously is well tonight. Yeah. I think that's finally it. Oh, Duval Dive, of course, on Fridays at 11 a.m. You could see that on any of the YouTube channels here or on these podcasts, or you can watch that live as well on the Pro Sports Fans app, or you can hear it on the 3-point conversion iHeartRadio channel, or on Sunday, 12 to 2 on oldschool101.com. My work with A7B in Sports, also covering the Magic as well. I do a lot of stuff, EJ Christian.
You're a busy man.
But not a joy and privilege, my friend. Until next time.